Well, it is a big win for Donald Trump in the U.S. Supreme Court just a day before the crucial presidential primaries on Super Tuesday. As per the court's order, Trump will not be removed from the presidential primaries ballot. The Supreme Court has overturned the previous decision by a top court in Colorado, which had barred Trump from the state's Republican primary ballot. The decision was based on a constitutional provision related to insurrection in connection with the January 6th Capitol attack. In a 9-0 decision, the Supreme Court unanimously reversed the 19th December ruling by Colorado's top court, which had disqualified Trump from holding public office again. In a first, Section 3 of the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution was cited to disqualify a presidential hopeful. In its order, the U.S. Supreme Court writes, and I quote, "We conclude that states may disqualify persons holding or attempting to hold state office, but states have no powers under the Constitution to enforce Section 3 with respect to federal offices, especially the presidency." In addition to being excluded from Colorado's ballot, Trump had also been barred from the ballots in Maine and Illinois based on the same 14th Amendment. Reacting to the news, Trump called the ruling a big win for America. Notably, Trump had appointed 3 of the current Supreme Court judges. This ruling paved the way for Trump to continue his campaign for the Republican nomination to challenge President Joe Biden in the upcoming presidential election, where Trump's only remaining Republican rival for the nomination is former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley. Susan Teherani is our correspondent, and she's now joining us live from New York. Susan, the decision was unanimous at the Supreme Court. Take us through the prosecutor's arguments and those of the defendants as well, and why the ruling is significant for Trump, especially ahead of Super Tuesday.
Yeah, basically, the judges on the Supreme Court don't like to get involved in politics, notably the politics of election. The last time this happened was between George Bush and Al Gore. But this is significant because there was no dissent, despite the fact that 3 of those judges were appointed by Donald Trump, and it's a majority conservative judge. But, you know, even those that haven't been, and the Democrat side, they agreed that what Colorado's Supreme Court was doing would have set a very dangerous precedent moving forward. One, because Donald Trump was never convicted for an insurrection. And the clause of the Constitution that those in Colorado and other states were going by to remove him from the ballot was anyone who was involved in an insurrection. Now, others argue that doesn't apply to the president and whatnot. But on the other hand, you know, there is this argument where the people and the Republicans in these states that wanted to go and vote, you know, where they would stand when Donald Trump's name is on the ballot, but they would go and their votes wouldn't be counted. So you can understand that this would have a lot of other implications besides the constitutional one as well. Of course, Republicans are saying this was election interference, and it was an attempt to bar a presidential candidate from moving forward in the general elections. The judges said that it is up to Congress to ultimately make decisions like this. And the reason it's significant is not only because it's before Super Tuesday, the most important primary for the Republican Party, but it's significant because now other states won't be able to do such a thing.
Susan Teherani live in New York. Susan, thank you. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.